Hello. In this educational series featuring all the steps of FACO, after getting a brisk response on my video with how to create amazing sideboards, I have decided to take up this topic of continuous curvilinear capsulorhexis, which is one of the most important steps in FACO, in which newcomers and new surgeons struggle a lot. I have tried to put this video in three parts. Part number one would be CCC basics, because without part one you won't be able to create a good CCC, which will be demonstrated in part two, and part three, CCC in difficult scenarios and white cataracts. So coming to the basics, as you can see, I have made these three compartments which are very important to understand. The first compartment is the anterior chamber pressure. The middle one is the human crystalline lens, which has cataract in it. The red part denotes the capsule of the lens. And the third chamber is the vitreous, where the vitreous is located, that is the posterior cavity, which has a vitreous pressure in all the patients. So coming back to the basics, we are concerned with these three kinds of pressures, that is AC pressure, intralenticular pressure, and the vitreous pressure. So as you all must be knowing, and if you don't know, let me clarify at the beginning of the video that AC pressure, which is maintained by your phaco irrigating fluid or the visco before you start your capsulorhexis, viscoelastic creates the AC pressure, which is the more you fill the anterior chamber with viscoelastic, the better it is. Intralenticular pressure should be as little as possible. That is, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 cataracts have a normal kind of intralenticular pressure, but when you go back to the intumescent ones, you get a lot of intralenticular pressure. And the third is the vitreous pressure. The less, the better. Now, I'll straight away jump to the ramifications of these three pressure gradients that you encounter while doing a phaco. A good viscofill increases the AC pressure. A normal cataract has little intralenticular pressure, and when you operate a patient on topical anesthesia without any block, the patient is very cooperative and the patient does not have a lot of weight, which basically increases the external and internal jugular pressure, thereby increasing the vitreous pressure. If both of these chambers and the gradients of the pressures are normal, it will be an easy case for you. The best case scenario would be this, that you have got a good viscofill and you start the rhexis. For all the new surgeons, I would recommend you to check these points out before beginning a good CCC. This is point number one. I want to lay emphasis on that: get a good viscofill and take a normal cataract in your early days. Coming to the dreaded complication, that is newcomers, new surgeons are really scared of rhexis runout situations, which is due to two reasons. One is, even if you have a good viscofill, the patient has a hypermature senile cataract with the liquefied cortex, specifically cartwheel appearance. If you see on the slit lamp exam after dilation, the rhexis is going to run out because of high intralenticular pressure. And the third is, white cataract patients are unable to fix on the light. That's why they squeeze the eyeball, increasing the vitreous pressure thereby. And it will make your rhexis really hard for you. If I have to make you imagine a scenario, it would be like opening a packet of Lay's which has been inflated to a high pressure. Even when you give a small nick on the pack of the Lay's chips, it's going to burst open. The same goes with the CCC in intumescent cataracts. The second scenario of the rhexis runout is, even if you have a good viscofill, even if the patient has a normal cataract, you can have a psychiatric patient who is uncooperative, who's squeezing the eyeball, increasing the vitreous pressure. If the patient is obese, my teacher, my guru used to say, always beware of slightly obese patients with short necks, which increases vitreous pressure to a lot of degree. I have had a lot of PCRs in these patients, so you better watch out. You must learn from my experiences the mistakes I have made. And Last but not the least, you can have too much of the block going in the retroorbital space, thereby increasing the vitreous pressure. The latter two situations are going to increase the pressure on the anterior capsule, and boom, as soon as you give the nick, the rexus is going to split open. So to give you a better perspective on how the pressure gradients look like in a real eye, I have given this sagittal section to you, which easily tells the pressure gradient in the anterior chamber after a good viscofill. The 90% of the cases that are going to have a normal intralenticular pressure, and a very cooperative patient, thin built, will have a good normal vitreous pressure, thereby giving you an ideal case to practice those rexis skills in your early days. Mention a kind mention once again to always look out for these three pressure gradients. One, AC pressure should be high, intralenticular pressure should be low, and the vitreous pressure should be low. That's the key to a good successful rexis. So this was part 1 about the prerequisites of a successful rexis. In part 2 of the CCC series, I am going to show you a real case and how to create a flap, the progression of a flap, and how to take the flap and make a good CCC. In the part 3, we are going to take intumescent cataracts. That's all from my side. Thank you.